Welcome to the Lead at the Top of Your Game podcast, where we equipped you to more effectively lead your seat at any employer, business, or industry in which you choose to play. Each week, we help you sharpen your leadership acumen by cracking open the playbooks of dynamic leaders who are doing big things in their professional endeavors. And now your host, leadership tactics and organizational development expert, Karen Farrell Rhodes.
Hi there, superstars. This is Karen, and welcome to today's episode. So often, those of us who are in the United States dream about expanding our company operations internationally. But you should also know that there's a huge population of foreign-based companies who are just as passionate and dream about establishing operations right here in the U.S. And with all the regulations to navigate and all the operational processes to understand, foreign-based operations frequently find the process of coming to the States really overwhelming, and most need an intermediary to guide them on the very steep learning curve. This is why I am so happy to feature on today's episode Danila Palmieri, who's the founder of Connect Solutions, a rapid business growth company that aims to help clients achieve their international business goals on an expedited timeline. Danila is a native of Brazil, and she splits her time between the U.S. and Brazil and a variety of other foreign countries. She leads a team of experts who helps clients establish operations in the U.S. and is very involved in partnerships with over 28 consulates. Danila will be sharing more insight on the dynamics of scaling operations into foreign markets, so you definitely don't want to miss this episode. But remember, be sure to listen to her addition to our Leadership Execution Playbook and my closing segment called Karen's Take, where I share a tip on how to use insights from today's episode to further sharpen your leadership acumen. And now, enjoy the show. Hello, superstars. This is Karen, and so happy to have you all listening in on today's episode. I am just thrilled beyond belief to have our guest today, Ms. Danila Palmieri. She is the founder of Connect Solutions, which is a firm that helps clients achieve their international business goals in a very expedited timeline. Her company is absolutely dynamic, so be sure to listen in deeply because, as you all know, global business is truly the way of the world. So welcome, Danila, to the show.
Thank you, Karen. It's a pleasure being here, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you. So thank you so much for having me here today.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So are you ready to open up that leadership playbook of yours?
Yes, I'm totally ready to do it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. Well, to start, for as much as you feel comfortable, Danila, can you share a little bit about, your background, kind of where you grew up, a little bit about your personal life, and a tad about your professional journey?
Sure. So, my beautiful accent, right?
I love it.
That's my beautiful accent is coming from Brazil. So, I was born and raised in São Paulo, big city in Brazil, the biggest city in Brazil. I graduated there in chemical engineer, worked for around 15 years in corporations, from work on the floor in the manufacturing, training people, designing processes, all the way through my last role that was a leadership development director, where I was able to help develop around 300 leaders in the company I used to work for. And that's where I decided to move my journey to the human resources field, right? After a merger and acquisition process that I was responsible for the integration of the processes and also work with the people management team. And that's where I decided to shift my career to that. in 2013, I moved to Atlanta. My husband was invited to come to work here in Atlanta, and I can confess to you, I didn't heard about Atlanta before,
It
right?
was a culture shock, right?
Yes, and then we came here. I love Atlanta. I feel like an Atlantan. I always tell my husband, like, "Oh, do you wanna?" And we need to drive somewhere. I said, "Oh, I know where we have to go." So I've been living here for the past 10 years, and I drive around a lot. So I have a 5 years old daughter. My husband, right? She's American Brazilian, right? Was born here, and also I have to work hard to make her speak Portuguese.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, so I always she starts speaking in English with me and say, "Hey, speak in Portuguese, please." So it's
Yeah.
a challenge, but it's fun. And since I arrived here, Karen, in 2013, 14, I was already in a solo career as a consultant in Brazil. And my first step was get in touch with the Brazilian American Chamber of Commerce, where I would like to understand how to do business here in this country, right? And also start to engage in the community. And that's what I did. And I became chairman of the board some years later. And we changed a lot of things in our board at that time. We recruiting new board members. We create some more diversity in our board because it was a lot of Brazilians. And I said, no, 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 we have to bring Americans. We have to bring, different ways to see things once
Right.
we are a binational chamber. So we did that. I decided, like, once with Connect, to serve international companies in the human resources heaviest field, let's say this way, because now I can kind of help them with some marketing, of course, with some operations. We have partners that can help them with the business development, right? With recruiting, C-level recruiting. So we end up creating this networking in this partnership that can provide better resources for international companies.
Love that. And for our listeners who may not realize this, in Atlanta, we kind of call ourselves the melting pot of the South, but there is a very thriving Brazilian community, among other diverse communities. But there is a very thriving Brazilian community. I have quite a few friends of Brazilian nationality or Brazilian descent. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely understand why it made it such sense for you to connect with the Brazilian Chamber of Commerce here because there was great business opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely there.
Yes, and then once I would like to not serve the Brazilian community and also other international companies, because when you come to the US, the challenges, the struggles, the culture are all the same,
Yes,
right? So it is we can help any international companies, right, doing what we do. Then I decided that I would like to be a board member. And I chose the World Trade Center Atlanta. At that time, I had a connection that introduced me to them. I went all with the process to right to be hired for them, and I've been acting as a board member there since it has been 5 years now.
oh, amazing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. And leading programs, events is not really my forte, but I always say, like, it sometimes I have to engage with things to improve some skills that we are not good at.
That's right. That's right.
And that's why I engage with the World Trade Center to open doors and understand other cultures and be in touch with other international chambers or consulates. I don't know, Karen, if you know that, but we have around 28 different binational uh, chamber of commerce or some trading offices or consulates here in Atlanta. So it's really a potting mouth through the sound, right? We really have a lot of international backgrounds here. That's amazing. That's one thing that I love
It
Atlanta
is
for.
amazing. I knew we had quite a few. I didn't know 28. So that's a new one on me. I learn something new every day. But that you're right. That is absolutely totally amazing. And for our listeners out there, in full transparency, Danila and I have had a chance for our businesses to partner together on a variety of initiatives. And she's really underselling herself. I mean, she has such a dynamic expertise in combining business operations with HR and organizational effectiveness initiatives. She is one of the best in the business around that, and so I didn't want her to get off this podcast without me really promoting her expertise because it has been such a pleasure collaborating with her on a variety of engagements that we had a chance to work together on.
Yeah, that's always a pleasure, Carrie. You know that, right? You know that I am your fan. I'm
I'm
here
your
for you anytime you need. You know that.
absolutely. Well, let's dig a little deeper into Connect Solutions. What I'd love for you to share with our audience is a little bit more about the different areas that you help businesses with, because I do know you do a lot of heavy work with helping um, foreign based businesses establish operations in the US, kind of help coaching and guiding them and establishing operations. But what are some of the different areas of specialty that the team at Connect Solutions can help with?
So I like to explain Connect Solutions as like a game,
Okay.
right? Where you have a path to go, and when you throw the dices, you run some steps forwards or back, right? So I like to explain like this as a board game,
Uh-huh.
because it is that what has happened. So when our clients approached us, and we work a lot together with the Georgian Department of Economic Development, with the Brazilian like consulate and other consulate, Mexican consulates, I've been talking to them as well, to understand like where is the company, what is the challenge, right? So I started asking questions like, oh, do you know your market size, your competitors? Do you know where your clients, where they are, what they are looking for? Uh, do you understand their needs, their problem? Because also, when you're talking about the international field, you have to understand your audience. It's not the same. The way I see things in Brazil is not the way I see here for sometimes the same solution, the same product, right? And the way we will promote that, and we will create, the footprint. So even sometimes you have to change the name, because the name, when you translate or when you say in English, doesn't make any sense, or maybe something that Americans would like to say, oh my gosh, right? It can be a
Right.
word that is not really fits well the culture.
Right.
So if they say, no, I understand all these, I know the market, I know my audience, I know everything, I need just to start selling, right? So at Connect, we have partnership with companies that can do the business development, can do the sales for them. So we start helping them with the marketing, language, creating a footprint, materials, so they are able to start selling here.
Gotcha.
If they are here and they want to really start their company, we have an accounting CPA partner that does it for us, help them with all this bureaucracy, legal, immigration as well. And at Connect, we are able to do what we can do best, that help them go through all the challenges around people management, from hiring the right person. And before that, the human resources strategy, it's planning, right? Where we really add value, it's planning in a sense that you know the people you want, you know the market, how much the market pays, where are these professionals, how much the benefits, all the challenges around, legal and compliance before hiring anyone. Then we can help them hire this person. And we are heavy on cultural fit, not only experience, not only knowledge and professional background, but we fit together to that culture, because also I value my clients' culture, right? We wanted to keep that here, their identity, their history, right? What they value most, and just adapt and engage to this country and change communication and adapt maybe some policies that in Brazil make sense, here doesn't make sense, and all the way around, right? So it's a learning process for all of us, because also we can improve process in Brazil. In Brazil, they are learning also, or in their country, they are also learning how to adapt that. And here they can also create and adapt to new things. And we can, sorry, Karen, go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm saying that's great. I was just curious as well. What are you seeing as some of the main challenges of international companies establishing a presence in the U.S.? I know we talked about kind of policies, but do you think it's the top the top, I won't say roadblocks, but top obstacles that they're trying to tackle? Is it the laws around foreign companies establishing it here? Is it finding that talent um, to create, to build a base here? What are some of the top challenges you're seeing right now going on as companies are trying to establish operations here?
First is really understand the market here,
The market.
change your mindset, and really, like I always tell them, open your mind and your ears and listen. Don't come here like ready. Oh, I know what to do. I'm going to do like this, because probably it's not going to work. So understand the market here. First thing, your mindset, change your mindset. Open, totally open. Blank page. Second is understand that the roadblocks we have here might not be the same ones in our country. Right now, here in the US, we know about the shortage, right, in the workforce. We know that how challenge is hiring someone. Now, all the compensation is up and high, right, than 3 years ago. Also, the flexible time and working from home, people change their home, right? Some people, they were living in New York and now they want to live in Florida because pandemic gave them this choice. And now it's challenging to make them, hey, come back, I need you here in New York in person, not virtually, or at least for a couple of days. So this all these challenges that we are facing, and we cannot be, how do you say, we need to be flexible and understand and consider that. I have a client that I just spoke yesterday, and she told me, oh, I cannot hire someone here they are in Miami because they need to speak Portuguese, they need to work from the office. And I said, well, you are giving me this spectrum to work, right? Because when you say speak Portuguese, okay, in Miami, in Florida, we have a lot of Portuguese spoken people, but with the experience you need,
It's a small market, right?
it is small market. So that's another challenge. And I have other clients that came here to hire a head of sales, and they have to change the whole strategy because they could not find the person with the budget they have. because their budget no longer makes sense here. So that is the main obstacles. And of course, understand the labor law, because there's some nuances in also now that you can hire in different states. So you have to comply with different regulations. That's another thing. But for me, the primarily one is mindset. Change your mindset. Clear your calculator. Let's start again.
Which as humans is hard to do, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you've had a successful business in your native country. Clearing your mindset to totally almost recreate your business in the
Mm-hmm.
U.S. can be a huge challenge. I know you have a lot of experts and specialists that you bring in based on what the clients need and what stage they're at. And I'm just curious, a female founder of such a firm, what are some of your major challenges in leading Connect Solutions?
Wow. It's as a female mom, wife, daughter, it's always a challenge. And yesterday I was talking with a friend. She's also so amazing that we are like living the same life right now. She's an entrepreneur like me. She's a mom. She just end up because I end up a partnership a couple of weeks ago and restarting rebranding Connect. So she's doing the same with her business, and we are talking about the challenges we face in our daily basis, because we say like we are the son. It's a mom's son, right? Or a daughter, right? You have to take care of them. So you have to worry about from what we're going to eat for dinner
Yeah.
to all the way through, oh my God, how do I connect with this new person and have a new prospect? So that's really the challenge for women, because I don't see in our society, like if we were a male person, if we're being worried about all this stuff at the same time and have to handle all these different balls as we have to handle, right? So it's time that you have to dedicate, it's time that you have to think in a different way. And sometimes it's pretty challenging in a sense that, oh my God, I do a phone call now with a potential prospect, or I have to go to my daughter's school, right, and be engaged with that community. So that is a balance that is challenge being a female, right? To how to handle all these balls and how to make time, a quality time to do. And I feel sometimes that I'm dropping my ball in the business
I think we all do.
because I have to pay attention, because at sometimes 5 p.m. I go down and I have to prepare the food. I ask, what are you going to have to eat? And everybody's waiting for me,
For you.
right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like, oh my God, I'm dedicating so much time to my work that I may be dropping the ball with my husband, with my family, right? Or with my friends. So it's always a feeling that we are missing something, or always we own something to somebody.
Right. Always.
You know?
Always. Well, I think you're doing a fantastic job trying to juggle. I think we're all in that similar situation, but I always say it's all about work-life prioritization versus
Mm-hmm.
work-life balance. For every single day I wake up and I think, okay, what are my top priorities for today? And I look across the spectrum from business to family to me. Sometimes I have
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
prioritize me, and make time to go get my annual physical or whatever it is that I need to get done. But you're right. It's just taking it day by day and doing your best.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's never enough hours in the day. Never
Yeah.
enough.
Never.
So, Danila, I'm just curious for you. What do you think it takes for someone to lead at the top of their game?
So to lead the top of the game, well, you have in your book of the 7 top priorities.
Yes.
I would like to talk about a little bit about driving for results because I'm a very result-driven person, and I find in everything I like to do to add value and accomplish results, right? Always, like with my clients, with my family, what we are looking for as a results, and that's for me is always the not the end of the game, but it's a really huge part of the game that we need to deliver results. I don't feel good if I'm not delivering, or actually, I love to say like I like to exceed expectation. I don't like to deliver what we agreed. I like to deliver
More.
more, always more. I'm never happy if I deliver like what we agreed. I'll feel like is the best work I can do for you.
Yeah.
So I like to deliver extra results and like a surprise, right? The expectation go beyond the expectation. Not always happens, but that's where I go forward.
Yeah.
And I like to get the work done. This juggling things. I do also prioritize over my week, like my calendar. Fridays mainly, I do the planning for next week, like blocking some times for myself, blocking times for projects, for networking, for different things for my family that I can really my major my MVP priority, right? The most important value priority. That's what I do. But that's where I see that as a leader, we have to looking for results, or results that our team has to develop to be better in something. So help them do it, or for us personally, deliver that, or for our family. So that's why I chose driving for results as the topic today, Karen.
Oh, I love that. And I think I'm going to use that as your entry into our leadership playbook. I love how you ring fence time on Fridays to make sure you're planning for the next week for all the different areas of your life. I
Mm-hmm.
think that is a valuable action or tool for leaders to do, because sometimes many of us don't do it or don't find the time to do it, and you schedule time in your calendar to make sure you do that in hopes that you'll be the most effective that you can be for the upcoming week. I absolutely love that. Do you have any other tips or tools that you do to kind of keep yourself sane?
Well, I usually have my Mondays to working on projects, try not to schedule meetings, real focus on getting the results done.
Mm-hmm.
I have my calendar open Tuesdays, Wednesday, and Thursdays really to business development, marketing, all the hats as an entrepreneur we have to wear.
Yeah.
And Fridays is I have a part of my days for myself, my massage, my nails, whatever I want to do to suit myself or to be nice to myself. And then I take like the afternoon to planning and to organize, see what I missed, maybe I didn't accomplish from that week that I need to reroute, turn around, and have done for next week. That's mainly, I believe that's helping me a lot. Not feeling that guilty we just spoken about between family, right, yourself, and work life. Try to balance a little bit more that.
I love that. I absolutely love that. All right. Well, we only have a few more minutes left, but I don't want to leave without doing our final segment. Our final segment is called Full Disclosure. These are little fun questions to ask to get a sneak peek into some of the things that you like as an individual. And I promise there are no gotcha questions.
Okay.
Nothing too bad. But my first question to you is, What is your favorite way to decompress?
Saturday.
Saturdays? What do you do on Saturdays?
Oh, Saturdays, I like to wake up whatever time. I love to walk around the neighborhood. And I love to take my daughter and my dog, my two puppies, right? My two babies with me. They go on the stroller. My dog go under the stroller. It's so cute. And I like to just to walk around the neighborhood. And now that the weather is amazing, my favorite time to do that in the year,
Yeah.
and come back home, work out, and do whatever we like in the afternoon. You can have a good glass of wine or more because the Sunday is just coming, right?
Right,
So
right.
enjoy the night. We don't usually enjoy the night much because we go sleep early. We're not owls here at home, but
Uh,
and have some friends over. That's what I like to do. So Saturday is my
it's your day
decompression
to
day.
do that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What is one of your favorite meals that you love to eat?
Wow, my favorite meal is a typical meal in Brazil.
Okay, what is
Right,
that?
it is rice with beans,
Mhm.
some protein. Like mainly, I am a beef person. I love a barbecue.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes, and some vegetables. These combinations is really a comfort food for me. I don't eat this very often.
Uh-huh.
Has been a while, not because I'm living here. It's because just to change. I don't eat that much, and but it's that's my favorite
That's
food.
your splurge meal that you would love,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Awesome. What would be a perfect birthday gift for you?
Oh my gosh, something that surprised me. I'll tell my husband this year. He said, "What do you wanna for birthday?" I said, "Surprise me."
To
I
surprise you
don't
on
know, just
your birthday?
surprise me. No, but other than that, my perfect present or perfect birthday day, it's hang out with the people I love, and just enjoy the time with them and be grateful and celebrate one more year, right? And one more year ahead, being healthy, right? That's really the best birthday day that I look for always.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, and one more question, but not for you. I always love to turn the tables on me since you've been such a great sport for being on the podcast. What is one question you'd like to ask me about anything, business or personal?
Okay, so Karen, I admire you. I know you has been a while. We work together, so I you really it's a reference. It's a role model for me.
Oh, that's so sweet of you to
So
say.
yes, this is true from the bottom of my heart to you. So what I would like to hear from you, I don't know if it's really a question, but how do you get so successful handling family business all this time, right? To have SDL where it is, and I know that you are always looking for something new to do, right? Always looking for something different. So how do you do that? Give me a little bit more from your magic.
That's a great question. Well, you know me, Danila. I'm an over the chart extrovert. I talk with everyone, network with everyone. Talking to people are my joy. So that's my space. And so for the business side of the house, I do try to extend my networks at all times with key decision makers at companies. Starting out with just being friendly, trying to see what's top of mind for them, offering some free advice or resources. I'm not a great, I won't call myself a great salesperson. I'm pretty good at deepening relationships. And I've just been fortunate that because of that, business has been referred to me um, from those that are within my network. And So I just try to continue to keep up relationships with individuals. Sometimes the business doesn't come like immediately. I've had a ton of people that it comes a year and a half later, and they'll say, hey, I referred you to one of my best friends. They're needing X, Y, or Z. And it took a while when we first started the company, but over time, it has really ramped up. So that's kind of one of the secrets to our success.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for
Uh,
sharing this with us, with me.
That's a great question. Well, unfortunately, our time is up. I could talk to you all day, Danila, but thank you so much for joining the Lead at the Top of Your Game podcast. And audience members, please definitely go to our website. There will be detailed show notes, information on how to contact Danila and get more information about her and her company services. You'll also get links to how to reach her. And Danila, you've just been the epitome of a wonderful podcast guest. So thank you so much for the gift of your time for our listeners.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen, again. It's
All
always a
right.
pleasure being here with you. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Have a good day, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today with Danila Palmieri, founder of Connect Solutions. Links to her bio, her entry into our leadership playbook, and additional resources can be found in the show notes on both your favorite podcast platform of choice and at leadyourgamepodcast.com. And now for Karen's take on today's topic of scaling internationally. While it may be exciting to contemplate scaling your company or business internationally, just know that there are both pros and cons to consider. Some of the pros include things like having a larger likelihood that your company will be more immune to the fluctuations and downturns of a single market. Also, you'll be able to tap into a larger talent pool, which is really cool. Another pro might be more options for selling your products and services, as well as enjoy the cachet that comes with having a global brand. But listeners, I'd be remiss if I did not give you some tips to avoid some of the pitfalls which may come your way if you don't plan for international operations very strategically. One of the things you should make sure that you do is conduct comprehensive market research in every country you're considering. Understand the local laws, tariffs, and taxes. And I personally recommend you starting with the U.S. Department of Commerce because they have a ton of data on trade laws all over the world. The second thing you should do is to devise a sound strategy when you're planning to establish operations in another country, and please don't wing it. Take the time to understand the cultural differences that will impact things like pricing, advertising, shipping, payment, production, and even packaging. And lastly, if you think that you might need finance for your business, make a research appointment with a renowned international bank, such as the Export-Import Bank of the U.S. There's a lot of these types of banks out there, but all of them have specialists who can help you prepare your financial strategy, and also they can connect you with subject matter experts in your target countries. So if you've enjoyed this topic, more info on developing stronger leadership acumen can be found by clicking on the signature program link on our website, shockingly-different.com. Thanks so much for joining this episode, and see you next week. Bye. And that's our show for today. Thank you for listening to the Lead at the Top of Your Game podcast, where we help you lead your seat at any employer, business, or industry in which you choose to play. You can check out the show notes, additional episodes, bonus resources, and also submit guest recommendations on our website at leadyourgamepodcast.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn by searching for the name Karen Rhodes, with Karen being spelled Karan. And if you like the show, the greatest gift you can give would be to subscribe and leave a rating on your podcast platform of choice. This podcast has been a production of Shockingly Different Leadership, a global consultancy which helps organizations execute their people, talent development, and organizational effectiveness initiatives on an on-demand project or contract basis. Huge thanks to our production and editing team for a job well done. Goodbye for now.